Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Adam Neff here, and I just kind of want to take a few minutes here at the beginning of this video to just kind of apologize for taking so long to get this video uploaded. I am kind of new to this. This is only my second video that I've ever put up, so I apologize for it being so crude, but the videos will get better. So other than that, I guess let's just jump right on in here. So what we're talking about today is, of course, the Microsoft Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. This is the follow-up to Microsoft's own wildly successful Elite Series 1 controller. Now, I was lucky enough to get my hands on one of these amazing controllers the day it came out, which was actually quite a bit harder than you might think. But grabbing one of these controllers the morning it came out was completely worth it. So let's take a look at everything the Series 2 Elite controller has to offer and just kind of go over everything Microsoft changed about the new controller and decide whether or not this is actually worth the upgrade, or if maybe you should just hold off and wait and see what the next-gen consoles have to offer when they come out next holiday season. Upon first inspection, the Series 2 Elite controller doesn't seem to have changed a whole lot. It's still just an Xbox controller, and it still functions the same as any other Xbox controller, with the exception of the paddles that are on the back. Now, the fact that this is still just an Xbox controller at its core is kind of a big comfort to me. I truly think that the Xbox controller is by far and away the best and most comfortable controller design ever. Had Microsoft changed the controller and made it feel and function differently than a generic Xbox controller, I feel like this would have been a pretty big failure on Microsoft's part, but luckily they kept it the same. The build quality and the materials used on the Series 2 are all just as high-end and just as impressive as the original Elite controller, with some slight variations to the grip pattern, which now actually wrap all the way up around to the top of the controller arms, which arguably make it a lot easier to hold on to. Even for those of you out there who get, that really bad sweaty palm when you play and you hand the controller to your friend and it's dripping and they're like, what the hell? Come on, you guys know who you are. Now, the new controller also seems to weigh in slightly heavier than the first Elite controller, but it really isn't a bad thing. It doesn't feel like you're holding on to a brick after 20 minutes or anything, but I don't mind this because it makes the controller feel like it's made out of really good materials and it has really good build quality. So for those of you out there who like to play pretty rough, you don't have to worry about dropping and breaking it. Although dropping a $180 controller might be a bit of an issue. Visually, for some, this controller will be a definite upgrade. The all-black murdered out look, as the kids are saying these days, makes you feel like you're playing with something tactical, as if it were designed by the military or something. Now, for me, I really enjoyed the whole two-tone look of the original Elite controller, so, it is what it is. It's not until you actually start to look a little closer that you realize the stuff Microsoft actually did change on this controller, which makes a huge difference over the original Elite controller. Alterations in paddle size make it easier than ever to hold on to this controller with the paddles installed. Microsoft also changed the force required to actually depress the paddles on the back, making it less likely that you're going to accidentally throw a grenade at the back of your friend's head, blowing it clean off his body and losing the match at the same time. Microsoft also included an extra stop on the trigger draw, giving you 3 stops of customization now, giving you the ability to dial in your trigger to exactly what you want. The other cool thing that Microsoft also gave us is the ability to dial in your tension on the analog sticks. You now have 3 separate settings that you can change to with an included tool, which is essentially just a small kind of tech screwdriver, which if you've got one laying around, you can use that. But it's cool that Microsoft actually did include the tool. The different settings for the analog tension are, from what I understand, being the stiffest tension from the Xbox 360, the medium tension being the Xbox One, and then the last tension, which is the lightest tension, being just a custom light tension for those of you out there who want to take advantage of that. Along with the 3 stops of analog tension and the 3 stops of trigger customization, Microsoft seems to have kept with the rule of 3s and added an extra profile that you can switch to on the fly, giving you 3 separate profiles. Now, Microsoft also gave you the ability to shut this completely off and just go back to what essentially is just a normal Xbox controller, giving you the default Xbox One experience. Now, the last thing, but certainly not the least, that Xbox decided to include with this new controller is Bluetooth connectivity. This may not have been a super big deal to a lot of you out there because Microsoft sold and still sells a dongle separately, keyword separately here, that allows you to connect any Xbox One controller to any computer. However, given the fact that Bluetooth had been included in a lot of controllers dating as far back as the PS3 controller, there really wasn't much of an excuse on Microsoft's part. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is both an upgrade and kind of a downgrade. Microsoft has installed a new battery that gives you about double the battery life of the old rechargeable lithium-ion battery that you can buy for any of the Xbox One controllers. The reason I said this was kind of a downgrade is that Microsoft has decided to integrate the battery into the controller this time, which makes it impossible for you to swap out a dead battery for a charged one, which essentially gave you unlimited playtime. However, most controllers nowadays have integrated batteries, so I think that's just kind of where we're at. Now, I can attest the amount of battery life you get on a single charge of this new battery is more than enough for any game session. Plus, this time around, Microsoft also included a desktop charging dock, which allows you to charge the controller both inside and out of the included hard cloth traveling case. Now, in kind of wrapping up this review, I can say that it seems like Microsoft has thought of dang near everything. And even though I've had the original Elite controller since its launch back in October of 2015, yes, I had to look that up because, let's face it, who remembers when they bought a controller? I was actually really pumped to add this new controller to my collection, so. The real question here is whether or not you should buy this controller. At its $180 price tag, it's actually pretty steep. However, everything that Microsoft includes with this new controller makes it, in my opinion, a pretty good deal. The controller, along with its interchangeable joysticks, its adjustable analog tension, the new and improved paddles, the integration of Bluetooth, an extended battery, an addition of an extra profile and an extra stop on the triggers, and the updated materials that are kind of used, along with the tools that are included and the desktop charging dock, the $180 price tag starts to look not bad at all. For me, in my opinion, this controller was kind of a no-brainer, but just like so many other things in the gaming world, this controller may not be for everybody. If you're not gaming pretty regularly and you don't have a stack of disposable cash laying around, or even if you have the original Xbox Elite controller, then you might want to pass on this one. But if you want to have the best gaming experience that Microsoft can offer at this time on the Xbox One and PC, then maybe this controller is worth it to you, in which case go out and grab one as soon as possible because it makes the gaming experience that much better. I personally don't think you're going to regret it. Now, with all that said and done, if you already have this controller, or if you're waiting around to see what the future has to offer, please leave a comment. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. But as for me, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. But if you'd like to see more of these videos, please feel free to subscribe and maybe leave a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you totally hated it. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.